Arjun Mehta was born to win. From his childhood, he had one dream: to represent his country as an athlete. His speed, discipline, and hunger for success made him unstoppable. By the age of 22, he had everything: fame, medals, and admiration. But life has its own plans, and one morning changed everything. During a training session on a rainy track, his foot slipped. There was a sharp crack, and in that one moment, the dream he had built for 10 years shattered completely. The doctors said his leg was severely damaged. His career was over. The boy who once ran faster than everyone else could now barely move. For months, Arjun stayed in a hospital bed. The sound of the cheering crowd was replaced by the beeping of hospital machines. He watched races on TV that he could no longer run. The world moved on without him. His friends stopped calling. His coach trained other athletes. And even his family began to whisper that maybe Arjun would never be the same again. Alone in that silence, he fell into darkness, asking the same painful question every night: why me? But one night, something changed. He wheeled himself to a mirror, looked into his own tired eyes, and said quietly, "If I can't run, I'll learn to walk. If I can't walk, I'll crawl. But I will not stop." That single thought became the spark of his comeback. Every morning before sunrise, Arjun pushed his body through unbearable pain. His leg refused to move, but he kept trying. He started small, lifting his foot 1 inch off the bed, holding it for 5 seconds, then 10. He took 3 steps with crutches, then 5, then 10. People laughed at him. Some even told him to accept his fate. But he had already decided he would not live as a broken man. Slowly, he began to rebuild himself, physically and mentally. He repeated to himself every day, "Champions are not those who never fail. They are those who never quit." After 18 long months of struggle and therapy, Arjun took his first unaided step. It was shaky, painful, but real. That moment wasn't about reaching the finish line. It was about starting again. He joined a small local running club, not as a star, but as a learner. Surrounded by children half his age, he began training from zero. Every step burned like fire, but he smiled through the pain. He knew that pain was his greatest teacher now. The same people who once pitied him now watched with disbelief as he kept improving. His comeback was no longer a dream. It was happening. 3 years later, Arjun registered for a national marathon. He didn't join to win. He joined to prove that he could finish. The night before the race, his old coach called him and said, "You don't owe anyone victory, Arjun. You only owe yourself effort." Those words stayed in his heart as he stood at the starting line the next morning. The gun fired, and thousands of runners began the race. Arjun started slowly, his body stiff and his pace uneven. 10 kilometers passed, and his leg throbbed in pain. At 20 kilometers, sweat blinded his eyes. By 30, his muscles screamed for him to stop. But in that agony, he heard a voice, the same one that spoke to him in the hospital, whispering, "This is the moment you were broken for." He remembered the tears, the sleepless nights, the disbelief of others, and suddenly, the pain turned into fuel. With a deep breath, he pushed harder. Step after step, he kept moving. When he finally crossed the finish line, he wasn't first, not even close. But as he walked across that line, the crowd stood and clapped. Some cried, others simply stared. They knew this was more than a race. It was the story of a man who refused to stay down. It was the power of a comeback. Later, in an interview, a reporter asked him, "What kept you going when everything was gone?" Arjun smiled and said, "Life gave me 2 choices, give up or grow stronger, and I chose to grow." His words went viral across the world. Millions watched and shared his story. His final message touched every broken heart that heard it. Your past doesn't define you. Your comeback does. We all fall. We all fail. But not everyone rises again. When life knocks you down, get back up. When nobody believes in you, believe in yourself. When it hurts, keep going anyway. Pain is temporary, but pride lasts forever. The greatest victory in life is not winning against others, it's winning against your own weakness. That is the true power of a comeback.